this establishing shot, you can see Nero's telescope way off to the right of the castle, but Nero is nowhere to be found, not even as a tiny speck of pixels. This is a nitpick for sure, but when comets like this pass by, they don't just fly in a quick flash like that. More realistically, a comet or comet debris would fully burst across the sky, not suddenly appear then disappear. This looks more like a glitch rather than an intentional part of the title card effect, due to how sudden it is. This shot is trying to simulate a standard lens on both Nero and the Blue Jerome, as though the title card is part of the set and the camera is focusing on it. But the castle and stars are still mostly in focus, breaking the illusion of depth of field. Remember kids, framing your shot is very important. Otherwise you end up with something like this. The ships look imposing, and the title card is great, but the way these cumulus clouds have vertical growth and are stacked like a wall makes it look as though the ships are sailing on their sides. Shadow simulation on Running to Never brought to you by Unreal Engine 4. That stock fire wasn't very cash money of you, Blue Jerome. I understand why the Blue Jerome would want to put the title card in the bottom left corner of the screen, since it doesn't clutter the frame or get in the way of this impressive looking shot of Agnia's fleet. However, the human eye is naturally drawn to text, so the title ends up being more distracting to the viewer than if it had been centered. Something like showing the cloudy sky, the title fade in, then the ship coming in front of the title and zooming away from it would have been infinitely more interesting and cinematic. I appreciate Agnia's dedication to dramatic entrances, even if it means cutting off her ship's fuel supply for several precious seconds so her crew could get that fire just right. I appreciate the effort to make Agnia's character design stand out, but her lower half is so much smaller than the rest of her body, especially compared to her head, that it's just comical. Agnia's sword glitches out on the last frame of this shot.
Black frame alert! All units, we have a stray black frame in the animation. Animators, open Blender and prepare to render farm. All hands prepare for lockdown. Cancel the 3-ring circus. Secure all animals in the zoo.
Why is the night sky so bright? Minecraft or not, Nero has some heavy overexposure here on his left side. What a gentle fall. You could almost call it floaty. Nero's also experiencing clipping. Something so present in the animation, we're gonna bulk sin it. Nero seems to be storing his one-use phone on his back. Nero goes from a block hand clipping into the phone to a fingered model. His arms have been arced in a way that isn't the best. Likely because there's so little anticipation before the jump, he just runs off the edge. Speaking of lack of anticipation, what the heck was that? Nero should absolutely be dead after this, even following video game rules. There's no point in sitting Nero mysteriously moving up several floors, since this is obviously a stylistic choice to show passage of time in one camera move rather than a cut. However, I can't understand how Nero was able to get inside the castle in the first place. Does he have human-sized perches and doors for quick entry? The foot stretching is pretty noticeable in this animation. It's like his foot is secretly a sentient landing hand. Maybe his feet are prehensile and can grab ledges as well as his hands can? Swinging your arms while walking? Nero's too cool for your pathetic arm swinging. Next you'll tell me he's gonna grow a demon arm and start using a sword with a motorcycle engine built into it. Sorry, I was thinking of a different Nero. Never mind. That water is so clear, the keys might get jealous. Hearts lost in the moonlight, and off we go. This flag moves for seemingly no reason. There shouldn't be any wind in here. Stardust, our wildest treasures or a mirage. Leela's eyes are so reflective, Nero's can be seen in hers. I've heard about the eyes being the windows to the soul, but get the thing away from me! Also, her goggles aren't very good at staying darkened. Igor looks like an Enderman, but does he look like he belongs in this video? Maybe some artistic license should have been taken with Igor's design to make him fit better with the art style. Also, why is Igor's body curved in towards his shoulders? Either he really needs to work on his posture, or there's something wrong with the way his model is rigged. Perfect intentions. Instead of a welding mask, Zach is wearing a loupe, a monocular tool more associated with closely looking at gems. Basically, he just wanted an excuse to wear an eye patch. I'm guessing he was jealous of Igor. Not only do the ladder and framing spawn into the scene, but Igor spins around his teleportation bulb before needing to correct for spinning too much. It's a shame the shiny rock became so matte when it was in the sword. It should have retained some shininess.
How close we get to the edge, are we running or never?
As Layla leans over the edge, the underside of this stone lights up. Hey, remember when the secret base was underwater? Because the animation doesn't.
Bright in our
The Transformers, the media.
are we running or never? Running or never?
For such a massive platform, the animation doesn't do a good job to convey weight, friction, and tension as it transforms. Excuse me, transforms. That's one flat spark animation.
Reach to step into the sky.
Anyone who builds an ender portal upwards like a nether portal needs to be prosecuted. That's just wrong. I don't think a dragon is going to make it through this portal. This may surprise you, but dragons aren't cats.
Chasing stardust.
Nero's hand clips to his chest in this shot. There's a slight motion blur on the bottom of Nero's wrist when he turns on his bracelet. It seems way too localized to be intentional.
Big intentions.
There's some nasty refractioning on Nero's arm in this shot.
How to stop.
This boat is filled to the brim with creepers, who don't have any arms. So, who's flying the boat? Did they just all lean to the side to make it turn? What is this? The pacing in this scene is very sloppy. Shots don't last long enough to leave an impact. It does a poor job establishing where the ships are relative to each other, and cuts between shots are placed seemingly at random rather than being driven by the story or set to the music. When critics say a movie has poor pacing or its editing is choppy, this is what they're talking about. Agnia's leg is really stretchy. Also, there should have been more anticipation before she jumped. Can we just agree that no Minecraft model should look like this? It's not that it's objectively wrong or anything, it's just morally wrong.
So blind we can't see how close we get to the edge.
During this sequence, none of the characters on this boat cast shadows onto the floor. Why, you ask? The world may never know.
Running or never.
This effect looks really out of place. There's way too strong of a shadow on the smoke, and it casts a shadow onto pure nothingness. Also, why does this effect get a shadow when the main characters don't?
Rising we get wet.
Turning the wrist like this is made awkward by such a sword. He doesn't swing it out, he swings his wrist.
We get wet on fire.
Here we see a case of mesh twisting, which you may remember from Psycho Girl 6. The meshing of this character's torso model has twisted so badly that it resembles an hourglass.
Right
All that dramatic movement, and he didn't even get close to Agnia.
on tonight.
This animation is so bouncy, I could have sworn Layla went into ragdoll mode for the role.
We keep on running, run.
This scene has no motion blur. Whoops.
Yeah.
No. Nope. No shot that could have happened. The thing just, magnetizes its way back onto his wrist. Also, the bracelet is bigger than it used to be.
Fire burning bright.
Agnia gets blurred out of existence here. Likely because the motion blur was done in post.
Running or never.
I may not be a physicist, but I'm pretty sure a hole in the wings of something that flies wouldn't cause it to spin, but just lose altitude. That's not the position you were in before, Agnia. Not only has she fallen ill to Mary Sue's spooky scary disease, she's got decontextualized movement syndrome. Oh no, the explodey TNT is on fire. What do? I ought to pat it out and not throw it away like a person with a brain would. Wait, so her goggles were the only thing that survived? Her body and everything else are just non-existent now. But her goggles? Nope. Made from the world's strongest material, I guess. Zach, I love you, bud, but you're barely covering Nero there. That's just rude. The rain is an overlay put over the animation in post, instead of a simulation actually affecting the scene. Either that, or these guys hit themselves with a layer of hydrophobic spray before going out. This umbrella handle is blurred so heavily that when it fades, it looks like it thickens up a couple inches. The edge glow is so strong here, it makes Agnes' sword look like it takes a different shape. In conclusion, this video was well made. The models were decent, each character has their own distinctive look, and though the story isn't exactly clear, it has an intriguing start with a villain that isn't the regular one-dimensional bad for bad's sake character. A pretty unique video, and an entertaining watch.
Is this the Krusty Krab?
Ever since, pirates from all over the world set sail for the Grand Line, searching for One Piece, the treasure that would make their dreams come true.
Yo! Yayo, dreaming. Rules of nature! And when the sun comes up, with their eyes on the line. Just ignore my tone, 'cause I'm always gonna answer when you call my phone. Like, what's up, danger?